And welcome back once again to Everyman Driver. I am your host, Dave Erickson. Thanks so much for watching. This, my friends, is the 2014 Mazda CX-9, a 3-row, 7-passenger midsize SUV that has versatile cargo room, dynamic styling, and a very smooth driving experience. But when it comes to getting the most bang for your 3-row, 7-passenger midsize SUV buck, how does this vehicle compare? Well, it's actually low on my list. More on that coming up, but first, let's pop the hood. The powertrain for the CX-9 is a good one. We're looking at a 3.7-liter V6 engine mated to a 6-speed sport automatic transmission. This vehicle kicks out 270 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, which is good because this is a heavy vehicle, some 4,400 pounds. Now, the trade-off with all that weight is fuel economy. It's rated at 16 miles per gallon in the city and 22 on the highway. Not great numbers on the surface, and in reality, not great real-life numbers. In mixed driving, I've been averaging about 15 miles per gallon, which is the same as what I averaged when I reviewed this 2013 model. That factor alone, I believe, will drive consumers to continue shopping for other midsize SUVs. Ride and handling is one of the CX-9's most powerful selling points. At more than 2 tons, it's surprisingly light on its feet. And I'm rolling on 20-inch aluminum alloy wheels. The power I mentioned before is really good, some 270 horsepower. It's really smooth going around corners, and this 6-speed sport automatic transmission is fantastic. This may be a 7-passenger family hauler that has grocery getter in its DNA, but it's still very much fun to drive. It has a sporty feel to the driving experience, and I won't say it has a zoom feel to it, but it's pretty darn good for a vehicle this size. Let's talk now about this center stack area. It is nearly perfectly laid out, everything but this top sliver, in my opinion. Just below this ledge, you have the inside temperature, time of day, average miles per gallon, average speed, etc., which I think could be better served, mixed in, or integrated into the instrument cluster. And by doing that, maybe Mazda could afford a larger color display. Currently, it's a 5-inch screen. I would suggest making it a little bit wider and completely touchscreen versus having these buttons and knobs on either side. Otherwise, everything is laid out very well. It's within reach, user-friendly, with a touch of luxury. And finally, overall comfort for the driver. My elbows are relaxed in both positions, left and right, especially here where my right arm is. The seats are slightly bolstered, giving it a sporty feel, but plenty of comfort, not only for me, but also for anyone in the passenger seat. Mazda does a really good job creating a comfortable driving experience. This is one of the best. Okay, let's have some fun with some real-world legroom and headroom in the second and third row of seats here of the CX-9. And first of all, you'll notice how wide this door opens. This is great in part because you need to have some extra room to get in the third row of seats, but it also makes it a little bit challenging in parking lots on swinging the door completely open without hitting someone next to you. As far as legroom and knee room, pretty good. This is my current position as a driver. I'm about 5'11", and this is how much room I have between my knees and the back of the seat. Headroom, this is fantastic. You would have to expect this in a midsize SUV, and this being Mazda's top of the line crossover midsize SUV, they better have enough space, and they do. So top grades for that. You have 3 O-blank handles all the way around. You do have some storage behind the driver's seat and passenger seat, put some magazines and whatnot. Also some climate controls back here for the passengers, which is good. Also, there is some travel in the second row of seats, so you can give yourself some more room if there's nobody behind you. It does come up quite a bit, so much so where my knees would be poking the back of the driver. Not a good thing, but I think you have some flexibility here with the travel on this seat. There's also a fold down armrest with a pair of cup holders. Also some storage here about an inch deep if you have some keys or some change and money that you want to put there. So that is an option as well. So when it comes to having 3 adults back here, how realistic is it? Of course, they call this a 7-passenger family hauler, but in reality, if I am to sit next to myself 3 times, there's not going to be a lot of room for the person in the middle. Case in point, I'm going to sit here in the middle, and I gotta tell you, this seat back is very hard. This is not a comfortable place to be whatsoever. So I go back to my passenger seat here on the edge. Can I get myself over there in that seat while giving myself more room here in the middle for shoulder? Let's do our double Dave test and find out. Here's what it would look like if Double Dave were to sit in the other passenger seat. You can see how both my shoulder and my other shoulder bleed over the center seat. You can see there's no way that I would be able to sit next to myself twice over without having my shoulders rub against each other. And this middle seat, not the most comfortable place to be. You got that right. Okay, let's take a look now and see how realistic it would be to have a full-size adult, someone like myself, 5'11", 6 feet tall, to sit in the 3rd row seats, because realistically, that is not the most comfortable place for an adult. That's all you. Again, the good thing about this middle row is it has plenty of travel so you can adjust the seat when you want to get in. So I'm sliding it forward a little bit, a couple latches, and there's plenty of space to get in, and then I gotta pull it forward and slide it back. Now, maybe I exaggerated just a little bit because there is plenty of room for my knees at this current position of the 2nd row of seats, and these seats are actually soft enough and make it comfortable. So, okay, maybe I was a little bit too much in the negative about the back row seats. They're comfortable, surprisingly, but realistically, come on. If you're driving around, unless you're a family taking the kids to a soccer game or taking them back from a soccer game and you're piling them all back here, this really is the place for younger, smaller people. And you're probably going to fold these seats down in real life anyway and use this as cargo. Remember, only 17 cubic feet of volume behind this 3rd row seats, so you want those down so you can bring some more things with you. So I'm okay with this, actually. Getting in wasn't that difficult, and there's a lot more room than I thought. You know, with the seat, the 2nd row seats in this current position, there's not going to be a lot of room for the middle row seat passenger's knee room, but back here there is that flexibility of sliding this seat frontwards and backwards to give yourself some more room. So not a bad place to be, but as a full-size adult, let's say you're bigger, I would go to the 2nd row seats. Headroom is right here at the max, so I am hitting the ceiling at 5'11". Now you know what it looks like and feels like here in the back row. Now there are 3 ways to open the liftgate of the CX-9. There is a button next to the driver's left knee. You saw it when I popped the hood. There is a handle just below the Mazda logo, and there's a button here in the key fob. Press and hold that, and up comes your trunk lid, no problem. Very nice because it's hands-free. Now, cargo volume behind the 3rd row seats, 17.2 cubic feet of volume, which is more than enough for half a dozen bags of groceries, some luggage, but will it pass my 30-gallon storage bin test? Well, let's find out right now. Here's my bin, pressed up against the 3rd row of seats. I press the automatic button here to bring down the liftgate, and we will see in 2 seconds. 1 and 2. And no, it doesn't, so it comes back up. So clearly not a lot of room for larger items, but clearly enough for something a little bit smaller. Now, we can increase that cargo volume quite a bit by pressing down the back row of seats. Once that 3rd row and 2nd row of seats are folded down, you're looking at just over 100 cubic feet of volume of cargo space. Lots of room for half a dozen 30-gallon storage bins and all the camping equipment you can think of, as well as a couple of bicycles with the wheels off. One other note here, there is more storage just below the floorboard. Not a lot, but some, and your spare tire is below the vehicle. The beginning MSRP here in the 2014 Mazda CX-9 is $36,625. My tester is the Grand Touring with Tech Package for an extra $2,400. With that, you get navigation, the power moonroof, Bose audio with 10 speakers. So when it's all said and done, this vehicle is $40,005. So which vehicles do I think offer a better 3-row, 7-passenger midsize SUV value for the money compared to this vehicle? Well, let's run down the list of my most recently reviewed vehicles that fall under that category. Number 1, the Buick Enclave. It's a good one. It has an upscale look, I think, inside and out, but it's identical when it comes to fuel economy. Not a good thing. It's all-wheel drive as well and gets 16 miles per gallon in the city, 22 in the highway, but has a much higher starting price in the upper 40s, so not the best option. The Nissan Pathfinder has a much more pleasing appearance compared to the models of the past, I think. It's lost some of its exterior identity in my opinion, but MPGs are better, about 20 city, 25 highway, with a starting price around $30,000. Not a bad option. The next is the Mitsubishi Outlander. Great fuel economy with an estimated 24 city and 29 highway. You can't lose with that. It also starts around $30,000. Until next time, I'm Dave Erickson with Everyman Driver. Thanks for watching.